Marissa Meyer is the number one New York Times best-selling author of the Lunar Chronicles. Also Heartless, the Renegades trilogy, my personal favorite, and Instant Karma, as well as the graphic novel duology Wires and Nerve. She holds a BA in creative writing from Pacific Lutheran University and a master's in publishing from Pace University. In addition to writing, Marissa hosts the Happy Writer podcast, and she lives near Tacoma, Washington with her husband and twin daughters. Everyone give it up for Marissa Meyer. Here you go. Oh, thank you. I love you too. Hello. I am so thrilled and honored to be your evening keynote speaker here at StoryCon, this beautiful StoryCon. What do you think? Like, best day ever? It's been incredible. I'm so glad you're here with me. Who heard Neil Shusterman this morning? Hey. I actually missed it. I was so bummed, so crushed that I had to miss it, but I heard there was tears in the audience. Who saw Brandon Mull? Mm-hmm. I know there were tears in the audience for that one as well. Just let's set an expectation. The Happy Writer talk, probably not going to make you cry. I just want you to know that's probably not going to be a tearjerker. But I am hoping that I can, impart some wisdom, or maybe that after our chat today, you are going to leave here inspired and ready to tackle whatever your next creative project is going to be. So I have a new book out. It is called The Happy Writer. Get more ideas, write more words, and find more joy from first draft to publication and beyond. And it is largely the inspiration for my talk today. It is, of course, not the first thing I've ever written. I've written a few other books as well. Thank you. I appreciate that. One would think this far into a person's career, I've done this a number of times. I've given lots of speeches. I've given plenty of keynotes. You would think it would stop being terrifying. I'll let you know. So far, it's pretty intimidating every time, but also just an incredible experience to get to stand up here and share with you something that I love. The Happy Writer is my very first nonfiction book, of course, geared toward writers, and specifically, how can we bring more joy into our writing process and our writing journey? So why is it that the idea of a happy writer kind of makes people chuckle? It kind of sounds like a joke. This is not the idea that most of us have when we have the stereotypical idea of a writer. You know this idea. We've seen them in Hollywood. Let's picture a true writer. They're probably in a dark, gloomy office, dark wood paneling on the walls. There's a typewriter. Stacks of manuscripts, old leather-bound books. It smells really good. They're probably swilling a glass of brandy. Maybe they're smoking a cigar. And they stare off into space, and every once in a while, a glimmer of brilliant inspiration enters their eye, and they set down their brandy, and they proceed to bleed their soul all over their manuscript. Right? We know this vision. It's kind of a cool idea of an author. There's something romantic about this idea of an author. However, this idea of an author, it also lends itself to something that I think is kind of troublesome, and that is the idea that real art, real literature, it can only come if you're in pain. You can only create something worthwhile if you are struggling. And let's be honest. Okay, lots of great stories. Lots of incredible literature and stories have been written, yes, from places of pain, from sadness, from heartache, from personal traumas, from anger at the world, anger at injustices. Yes, these things can lead to absolutely incredible stories. But I rebel against the idea that you have to be struggling in order to create anything worthwhile. Personally, I think that a lot of my best work comes when I am excited about my project. It comes when I cannot wait to get to work. I cannot wait to tell this story that I'm working on. It comes when I am truly having a lot of fun. And that's where I think my best work comes from. So I'm trying to fight against this idea that true art, worthwhile things come from a place of pain all the time. That said, a lot of people, when I talk about this idea that I'm a happy writer and I want to encourage you to be a happy writer, I do worry that people start to wonder, like, but I'm not happy all the time. Does that mean I can't live the happy writer lifestyle? Does that mean I'm doing something wrong? Of course not. We are not happy all the time. No one's going to be happy all the time. That is simply not realistic. And to kind of emphasize that point, I was wondering if I could ask my fellow author presenters here at StoryCon to help me out with a quick little experiment. So can I ask, here in the front row, we have some amazing authors. You've been listening to them and getting books signed with them all day. They are published. They are here providing you their words of wisdom. They're encouraging the next generation of authors. A lot of people would argue that they have made it, right? Authors, would you do me the favor of standing up so everyone can see you? Applause for our incredible authors. All right, we're going to do just like a quick experiment. No pressure, be honest, okay? Question, in your writing life to this day, do you ever have days, raise your hand, do you ever have days when you do not feel like writing? Okay, me too. Do you ever have you ever experienced burnout? Creative burnout, yep. Since getting published, have you ever received rejection after getting published? Yep. How about, hold on, there was another one. Have you ever gotten a review of your work that was so bad, so discouraging, they're already got their hands up, that it made you want to stop writing for any period of time? Yep. No. That person was an idiot, she says. Do you ever experience imposter syndrome? I do. Standing here at this very moment, are you experiencing a little bit of imposter syndrome? All right, you can sit down. Thank you. I appreciate it. A round of applause for our amazing authors. So I just want to point out that even as you are embarking on your career, no matter where you are on your journey, there's ups and downs. There's good days and bad days. No one expects it to be like all cotton candy and confetti all the time. However, there are ways, and according to positive psychology, there are proven ways that we can increase our overall life satisfaction, increase our satisfaction with our work, and even just little things that can bring us more joy in just day-to-day life. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I've put together my top 10 ways that I would encourage someone to try to find more joy in their writing journey. So let's get started. Number one, a not so happy writer worries that they have no good ideas. Ideas. We can bundle up a lot of anxiety when it comes to ideas. You might worry that you have no good ideas. You might worry that your current idea, it's cliche, it's boring, it's terrible. No one's ever going to want to read this. Or maybe you're halfway through your book and you're stuck and you don't know how to get out of it. You feel like you need an idea, a great idea for getting out of it, and you don't know what to do. Maybe you're almost done with a project and you're nearing the end and you have no idea what you're going to write next. Maybe you're worried that this might be it. I might be all dried up. So the thing about ideas is that they are largely a numbers game. How do you get one great idea? First, you get 99 terrible ones. That's how ideas work. You get a lot of ideas. Eventually, one of them's going to glitter and sparkle and get you really, really excited. Okay, I want you to think not about trying to get good ideas. I want you to think about turning your brain into an idea-generating machine. How do we do this? We do it by filling our creative well. Now, the idea of a creative well, it does kind of mean different things to different people. To me, the creative well is all of the material, the content, the input, the fodder that we put into our minds every single day that then gets churned up in your subconscious. And it gets churned up all together, and from that springs these beautiful new ideas. Your subconscious loves novelty. It loves newness. So try to make it a priority to live life, experience new things. This can be reading a book outside your genre. It could be watching a documentary on a topic that you know nothing about. Talking to people, asking their stories. Everyone has a cool story if you take the time to find out what it is. Travel, if you can. If you can't travel, be a tourist in your hometown. Where have you never been to before? What's really cool in this area? Learn a new skill. Take a class. Take up a new hobby. Anything that you can put into your brain that is new and different and exciting, your subconscious is going to latch onto that, and it's going to take all of this stuff and it's going to churn through it. And from that is when you're going to start to get those really cool, fun eureka moments. All right, what else? Not so happy writer has no time to write. I get it. We are busy. You're busy. You have school. Maybe you play sports. Maybe you're in band. Maybe you're in a club. You probably have friends you like to see once in a while. I get it. It's really easy, though, to think like, okay, I just need to get through these finals, and then I'll have some time to write. Okay, when I graduate, then I'll have time. Okay, well, maybe when I graduate college, then I'll have time to write. Oh, now I have to get settled into this job that I have all of a sudden. But once I've got it under control, I'll have time to write then. Oh man, now I'm married and there's children. I guess in 18 years, I'll have time to write. I'm sorry to tell you, life is never going to hand you this vast amounts of time to write. You have to carve it out for yourself. So 2 strategies that I have found that work for me for helping to find time to write. 1, schedule it. It's not sexy, I know, but put it in your calendar like you would a doctor's appointment. This far into my career, every single Sunday, I look at what I've got going on in the week coming up, and I decide, when am I going to write? Do I have an hour before we start schooling on Monday? I homeschool my kids. Can I carve out some time before making dinner on Wednesday? Can I slip away from the house for a few hours on the weekend? When am I going to write? And I decide, what am I going to work on? Is this a drafting day? Is this an outlining? Do I need to do some research? Do I need to brainstorm? What are you going to work on? Schedule it in just like an appointment. The other tactic, learn to say no. Some people are chuckling because it's hard to say no. It's not actually that hard, though. Let's practice all together. 1, 2, 3, no. It feels good. I heard someone say yes. That's fine. I'm a yes person. I like saying yes. I have FOMO. I do. I like to be where the people are. I like to people please. What really drove the idea of like, sometimes you need to say no, what drove it home for me was realizing that every time you say yes to something, you are actually saying no to something else. So yes, I'd love to go to dinner this night, but no, I guess I won't be finishing my word count goal that day. Yes, I'll babysit your kids, but no, I won't have time to sit and work on my novel. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that you should like chain yourself to your desk and never do anything but write. See step 1, experience life and do things and get lots of ideas. But if writing is important to you, if this is a passion, this is something you care about, then be intentional with your time. Be intentional about how you are choosing to spend your time, what you are putting your effort into. Not so happy writer feels stuck. And there's a lot of ways that we can feel stuck. You can feel stuck in the actual writing of a book. Maybe you're stuck on the plot. You don't know where to go. Maybe it's been days or weeks or even months since you've written anything. That's a tough feeling. You can also feel stuck in your bigger goals. If your goal is to be published, maybe you've been querying agents for a year and it hasn't happened yet. Maybe you're published, but you're frustrated because, man, I thought I could be a full-time writer by now, and it hasn't happened yet. We can start to feel stuck. The antidote, what I feel the antidote is to when you get into these periods of feeling stuck, is to focus on progress, not perfection. Because perfection is what we look for when we start to have thoughts like, well, I really need to write this next chapter, but it's going to take me at least 4 hours to do it. So what's the point of starting unless I have 4 dedicated hours? Well, when are you going to have 4 dedicated hours? I would really love to start outlining this book, but first I've got this stack of 6 books that I need to read for research in order to do my world building, and I can't possibly start on my outline until I finish this research. This is all or nothing thinking, and it is a big contributor to that stuck feeling. Instead, try breaking your big goals into little goals and see what can you do to make progress on your goals every day or as frequently as possible. Consistency is what's going to get your book written. Consistency is what's going to give you that feeling like you are doing it. I have this dream, I have this goal, and I am pursuing it. Maybe today all I had time for was looking up some inspiration photos on Pinterest. That's okay, that's progress. Maybe all I did today was name some side character. Cool, that's progress. It had to be done. Maybe all I did today was draw a map of my world. That's awesome. It's progress. Progress, not perfection. Lack of autonomy. This one comes straight from the world of positive psychology. They have discovered that one of the number one factors that determines a person's life satisfaction, how happy are you with your life, is how much autonomy you have. Are you in control of your life? Do you feel like you have control of your choices? Are you in control of your work? Are you in control of your time? Unfortunately, there's a lot of things that we writers don't control. You don't control how someone else feels about your book. An agent, an editor, a reviewer, you don't get to control their opinions. Total bummer, I know. We don't control the marketing budget at our publishing houses. A lot of times we don't even control what our cover art looks like. Sometimes we don't get to decide the title of our books. There's a lot of things that are out of our control, and this can be so discouraging. But instead, focus on what you do control. And of course, one of the number one things that we control is the writing itself. You get to decide what story you choose, what idea you follow, what plot twists you take, who your characters are, who your villains are, what your world is like. You control everything about your book, and that is really cool. It's like a superpower. You also get to control things like social media. What social media platforms do you want to be on? And what message do you want to put out into the world? And then what I think is probably one of the biggest things, it can maybe get overlooked, but personally, I think the biggest thing that we control is how we react to things. What is your attitude toward things if you have a setback? If there's something that's not going right and you are frustrated, how are you going to react to that? Are you going to throw up your hands? I give up. I'm done. I don't know why I ever thought I could do this. That's a choice. You get to make it. Or are you going to keep going? Burnout. As you saw, I think all of our hands went up for facing burnout. It is a very, very common thing in the world of not just writers, but a lot of creative types. We tend to burn ourselves out. And sometimes it's because we've got publishers and expectations and deadlines. A lot of times it's self-imposed, though. We get into this pace of feeling like we always have to be creating more. We always have to be pushing forward. We can never pause. We can never step back and take a break. Burnout is what happens when you try to sprint a marathon, when you try to push yourself beyond what you're physically, emotionally, mentally capable of consistently, over and over, for weeks, for months, for years. The result of burnout, it's not fun. You're tired. You're crabby. If your family starts asking you, why are you so angry all the time? Might be because you're facing burnout. It's a pretty good sign. There's a lot of physical issues that come with facing burnout and just being under this constant amount of stress. And the worst thing, at least I think the worst thing about burnout, it makes writing not fun. It is so hard to write when you're facing burnout. It just sucks all the joy out of it. To feel like you have to sit down and create words and try to create a story that makes sense, that people are going to enjoy. When you are under that feeling of being like, but all I want to do is take a nap. Not a good feeling. So of course, instead, I want you to go forward thinking about how can I be kind to myself? How can I take care of myself? And this is going to mean different things for different people. What inspires you? What relaxes you? What rejuvenates you? And I particularly want you to think of it in two different ways. I want you to think first, mini breaks. Mini breaks every day. Make it a habit. Do you write for an hour and then like go hang out with your dog for a little while? Go have some cuddles with your cat? Do you write for an hour and then go for a walk? Do you get up and get a snack? I like to do mini dance breaks. Turn on some fun music, groove in my office, get some endorphins flowing. That's one of my favorite ways to take breaks. So take mini breaks. Make it just a part of your day-to-day habits in your creative journey. Is it going to be hitting the halfway point in your novel or writing the next chapter? Is the next milestone finishing the draft? Maybe it's sending out your first query letter, like whatever your next big thing is that you're excited to reach that point. How are you going to celebrate it? Make a plan. I'm going to get cake. I'm going to go see a movie. I'm going to take an entire day off and read a book cover to cover. What is it? How are you going to celebrate it? Because those milestones, it's so easy to let them just pass us by and not even think about it and just keep plugging forward. But it's really important to stop and give yourself a high five. Note that I have done something incredible. Being solitary versus leaning on your community. Being solitary itself, it's not a bad thing. I love being by myself. I really do. Looking forward to it right now, being in the hotel room, no family, no kids. I can't wait. But there are going to be times when it is so nice to have a community of writers, people who get it. People who really get it. Now, friends are great. Family is great. Parents who support you, that's awesome. But if they're not a writer, they can try their best, but they're not fully going to get it. When you start talking about like how your characters are talking in your head and you can't get them to stop, other people don't get it. It's this weird thing that we do. So find people that you can connect with, people that you can commiserate with. We writers, we're whiners. We are. It's true. We'll whine about anything. Find people that you can whine with and complain about the state of writing and how hard it is. Talk about the struggles, talk about the challenges. And then when good things happen, cheer each other on. So no big surprise here. My recommendation, of course, is to find your people. Oh, look, I found them. You're welcome. We are book lovers. We are here because we like books and we like stories. And a lot of people in this room are writers. So your homework, if you do not yet have any writing community, your assignment for this weekend is to find one person that you click with. One person that you think they seem pretty cool. I could be friends with this person. Trade emails or Instagram handles or whatever, and reach out to them within 1 week. 1 week. Don't let any more time pass. 1 week is what I'm giving you to reach out to this person. Don't be creepy about it. Right? It's not like a desperate, clingy thing. Just like it was nice meeting you at StoryCon. Hope you had a great time. Would you like to get together and talk shop sometime? Right? Find your people. Speaking of finding your people, we have to talk about jealousy. It's real. It's real. Are there people, authors that I'm sometimes jealous of? I am sometimes. It doesn't go away just because you get published. You know, first it's like, oh, this person in my writing group got an agent, and then they got a book deal, and then they hit the bestseller list, and then they have a movie. Man. Then they have a giant statue of Scrooge McDuck in their office. Jealousy, it never fully goes away. And a lot of people will give the advice, keep your eyes on your own page. Just focus on what you're doing. Ignore what everyone else is doing. And that's not terrible advice. Like, I understand where that advice is coming from. Personally, I think it is much more effective to instead think about becoming a cheerleader. We are a great community. Writers are some of the kindest, most creative, most hardworking people you are ever going to meet, and the community is incredible. So, whenever possible, rather than giving in to those feelings of like, oh, this person, like, I'm so jealous, I wish I could be them, blah, 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 whatever, be a cheerleader, support each other, give high fives, celebrate with each other. Thank you. And I promise that when good things happen to you in your career, the community is going to rally and they're going to be cheering for you too, because that is what we do. Oh, perfectionism. Remember, we talked about perfectionism once already. Talking about it again because it is a problem that a lot of us face. I don't speak from personal experience. So we talked about perfectionism and the idea of finding time to write, how it can be tricky when we're always looking for that perfect situation in which we're going to be able to get lots of writing done. But of course, we can also be perfectionists in our own writing and in the craft and in the story that we're trying to tell. And we think, I have a vision. I have a vision for this book, and it's never quite there. It's never quite good enough. We're always going to be thinking, well, maybe if I just do one more revision. Maybe if I just read a couple more craft books, then I'll learn more and I can make it better and I can make it better. Now, it is great to want to do your absolute best, right? I encourage that. Do the best that you can, learn the craft, practice, try to write the best book that you are capable of. But at some point, we need to recognize, you know what? I am actually my own worst critic. And maybe I have done the best that I can with the skills that I have right now. Know that it is okay to let something go. Maybe you send it off into the world. Maybe you send it off to agents. Maybe it gets published. Maybe it doesn't. It's okay to move on to something else. It doesn't mean you're giving up on that thing. You can come back to it if it doesn't sell down the line. Maybe you learn some new cool skills and you can come back and make it better again. But it's okay to let go. It's okay to say, for now, good enough is good enough. So one more time, progress, not perfection. Sweating the small stuff versus appreciating the little things. There's going to be maybe some conflict, some debate over what constitutes the small stuff. It could mean different things to different people. When I think of what this means in a creative life, a writing life, to me, the small stuff are those things that totally stress us out, that cause us so much anxiety, so much panic. But really, a year from now or 2 years from now, you won't even remember it. Or you'll remember it, but you'll think, okay, it wasn't really that big of a deal after all. Things like life got really busy this week, and I didn't get any writing done this week. And now I'm beating myself up, and I feel like I'm a failure, and I feel like I'm never going to finish this book, and I'm never going to accomplish his goals. It's okay. Life happens. Move on. Go back to consistency, progress, not perfection. Things like you needed to ask for an extension from an editor. It seems like a big deal. A year from now, probably not going to be a big deal. Even things like there was a problem at the printer and your book release got delayed a couple of weeks. It's not fun. It's so stressful when this sort of thing happens, and it's totally outside of our control. But it is not going to make or break your career. I promise it's not. And more important, these things that come up, they do not define you as a writer. They do not decide your value as a writer. So try not to sweat the small stuff. Instead, again, from positive psychology, focus on gratitude. It's a really powerful force. I know people talk about like gratitude journals and all this. Keep one if you want to. But I just think whenever possible, let's appreciate the little things that bring us so much joy. And yes, I'm talking about cozy socks. I'm talking about a really good pot of tea. The cat that wants to snuggle on your lap while you're writing. So much joy in these little things. A beautiful sunset, a house plant on your desk, little things. They really are the big things. I am a huge believer in the idea that the happiest life is built on tiny joys. And let's not forget the tiny miracles involved with simply being a writer. You know that moment when you're writing along and there's like a character in your book that's just been kind of eluding you and you just haven't quite figured out who they are yet, and you're sitting there and you're typing along, and suddenly this character says something or does something, and it is so quintessentially them that in that moment you think, I've caught you now. Right? We know this moment. I hear you. I see you. I know who you are. And suddenly, they're a real person. Just like that. It's incredible. Another wonderful moment that I know we writers have all experienced, when out of nowhere, you're neck deep into a writing project, into a book, and out of nowhere, an idea for the most perfect plot twist pops into your head. And it is so perfect, it ties up all the loose threads, it brings together all those subplots. You weren't thinking about it, you weren't planning it, but it's so perfect that it feels like you were. It is a little bit of magic, and no one can tell me otherwise. I think it is so cool what our brains do when they are creating a story. These little bits of miracles that happen during the writing process. Are they little things? Sure, but they're also really big things, and we should take the time to appreciate how amazing it is that we do what we do. Being frustrated with the journey versus enjoying the journey. This is my last tip. There are lots of things to be frustrated about. It takes time. It is not a fast process. Learning how to write a book, learning the craft. Maybe you write a book and think it's not good enough, and then you write another one and it's still not good enough. Maybe you write one that you think is good enough, it doesn't sell to an agent. Maybe it does sell to an agent, no publisher picks it up. It takes time, and it can be filled with frustrations. I know. But it is also a journey that is filled with so much joy to be had in the little moments and the big moments. When you do get that agent, when you do get that book deal, when you hold your book for the first time and see your name on the cover, it is an incredible moment. So wherever you are, I truly hope that you will be inspired to find your joys as much as possible. And when the going gets tough, I just want you to remember that Marissa says, you've totally got this. Thank you so much. Happy writing. Enjoy StoryCon.